have never, if you read through my CV, I do
Right.
not talk about products. The business
Okay.
I'm in, I cannot talk about my specific products. So if
Okay.
someone interviews me, if
Mhm.
I say I've worked on the entire portfolio, it means I've worked on Humira, Duodopa, I've worked on next generation Humira, I've worked on all our anesthetic products, I've once worked on Androgel from a
Okay.
safety perspective. But
Right.
in addition to me, for the pharma side of the compound, for all these products, there are also medical directors that work purely focused on the drug side. My
Okay.
responsibility is the combination of drug and device.
Okay.
So if I'm a person who can talk about only one assay or one product, I probably could write that. In my experience, have not written those out before.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
You just said, yeah,
throughout
go ahead.
my CV, you will not see any products mentioned.
R- Right, right. I haven't. All right. You just said that what you work on is a combination of drugs and devices. So, have over here you've worked on lots of novel drug delivery devices, right?
Novel drug delivery devices. Yeah,
All right.
as part of a
Okay.
combination product, definitely.
Right, right, right. Okay. And uh, like, have you you were involved in the life cycle of the project, right? So
Yes.
like from a safety perspective, so how are you involved in like the planning and implementation of it in like precise terms, like what were you doing exactly, were
We've
like what
discussed
strategy?
this. We've
Okay.
discussed this. When there is a concept, when there is an unmet medical need, marketing
Okay.
or market analysis, someone from the marketing commercial team comes up with this idea. It's still
Okay.
considered the concept phase. They bring in medical to confirm the unmet medical need. So I'm involved there. Once we confirm the unmet medical need, we do a lot of literature review, competitor analysis,
Okay.
and make sure what's the global reach of that product. We
Okay.
identify and define the strategy, whether it's considered a global product or is it going to be a local product limited to certain geographies.
Okay.
Once we define that, then we go interview stakeholders depending on who's going to be using the product. We
Okay.
interview patients, we interview physicians, we interview lab technicians, pharmacists, depends on what that product you're talking about. What is the, um, for example, for duodopa, it's a pump with levodopa carbidopa gel in it. That particular product is sold or prescribed by neurologists. But since it involves a PEG J tube, it requires gastroenterologist to, you know, insert the PEG. So
Okay.
we go and interview different stakeholders. Then we start
Hmm.
working on the design, on the prototype. We conduct studies with the prototype. We do human
Hmm.
factor studies with the prototype. Then after that, we enhance. We sit around the table, discuss what we saw, what we observed. Then we start conducting different studies. So we'll do first in human studies with a very small subject. So this is the normal process for any device.
Okay. Right. Uh, Over here, you were very involved with safety, right? So,
Yes.
uh, like one of the things that you mentioned above was like one of the divisions. Uh,
No, go ahead.
One of the divisions
Sorry.
that you mentioned above was like global pharmacovigilance, right? It's one of the divisions that you were a part of in this organization, right? AbbVie Inc. So, uh, as a part of like this global like pharmacovigilance team, Like, how did you manage that? Like, what were the strategies involved in managing global pharmacovigilance, like post marketing surveillance? How did you do that?
Follow the standard processes.
Okay, which
This
involved
is not,
what is
these are all very well established things, okay? I
okay,
do not, I mean, it's a very standard process we do. I'm not, I don't think my CV should say conducted periodic safety review,
okay,
authored risk management files, or,
okay,
did active surveillance,
okay,
monitored
okay,
signals. So everything that's a standard part of the job, I did all that. So
okay,
signal management, periodic review of the data, presentation to management, alerting the teams, working with the clinical development teams if there were safety signals. I did all that.
okay. Uh, don't these jobs? Okay, so is there anything that you did to improve these processes? Like any specific improvements that you can talk about to these processes that
Um,
you've introduced?
so I would be embarrassed to put that on a resume, but basically, when I walked into this role, people were printing spreadsheets using a ruler to
Okay,
compare data.
okay, right,
I went directly to senior leadership and I said, "This is a joke. I mean, there are, macros that need to be created." So we went and hired an intern to come in and create macros to identify differences between the roles.
okay,
That's
right.
embarrassing for a company that size.
All right. I can hint to that, like in the essentially by saying like modernized processes, like modernized data analysis or data management processes, something along those lines. That would hint to this.
I
You can
would
explain it
not
in detail.
say modernize. I would say enhance
Right. Okay.
automated manual processes.
Right. Okay.
Automate
Uh,
manual data review processes.
all right. We can like go towards
I
that, and you can explain.
truly set the combination product safety strategy end to end for the entire organization.
All right. And like when like what were the like before you set this combination safety strategy, what were the issues that the company was facing, and like what did your strategy help resolve exactly? Like what issues did it help the company resolve?
Sorry,
Could you tell me like the before and after picture, like before your strategy implemented, what was the exact
there was
picture, like what
no
was the challenges?
strategy.
Oh, there was no
There was
strategy.
no strategy. I
Okay,
created the new role. I identified the need to have a strategy. I came up with the vision, the mission, the resource needs for that entire organization, sold it to operations, the complaints team, the pharmacovigilance leadership, and the clinical development, got them aligned, then implemented pilots. AbbVie, at any point in time, since then has been ahead of the curve when it comes to combination product safety preparedness.
all right, and yeah, okay, this has okay helped you being ahead of the curve in terms of combination product safety aware. Okay, and this was a global organization, right? And
Yes,
as a global organization, this organization didn't have the strategy in place. This combination
didn't
product
have
safety
what?
strategy didn't have a strategy in place for combination product safety, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that feels a bit odd, being considering the scale of the organization. Uh,
No,
all right.
it's not hard. It's a new requirement that FDA put in place um, for years, but did not have a final rule. So there aren't too many companies that are ready with it.
Okay. All right. Is there any other instance where like you have helped the company keep track with like evolving FDA regulations by introducing new strategies over here?
I'm doing that for across America right now. I'm considered an industry expert on combination product safety. I lead a working group that has 21 top pharma and device companies that
Mhm.
I literally lead and
Okay.
influence FDA to a point where I have emails from FDA thanking me for my contribution.
Oh, all right. Okay, so like you are a pretty major influencer in terms of like combination product safety, like an industry leader in terms of combination product safety, right?
Yes.
Or
So
across America.
if you Google my name on and look for combination product, you will see how many places I present. I chair the working group for post-market safety reporting for a combination product coalition. It's an industry coalition.
Okay, all right. Understand. Okay. After this, okay. By the way, uh you created this whole coalition, the combination product safety coalition.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay.
That's a legal firm. It's a legal
All
company
right. Okay. All right.
where industry pays a stipend to be a part of the coalition. I'm their working group chair
All right.
for
Okay.
post-market safety reporting.
All right. And what's in this? Could you give me a minute to go over my notes?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Uh, Ms. Khaudeja, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Um, like you said that you have like over here you worked in the development product life cycle of a number of products. Could you give me like a ballpark figure of like what the number was? Like what's the number of products that you developed, that you helped develop?
Oh gosh, you mean in this role, current role?
Uh, in like your current role at Abbott and the previous role at
That is, I cannot
AbbVie.
give you a count because, I mean,
Okay.
uh, so currently I'm working on the 5 assays we've launched. The next
Okay.
wave has 3 assays. The next wave has 4 assays. I cannot give that out. That's
Okay.
confidential. And then how do I count new products? Is it um, a different strength of a pharma product? It's I it's unsubstantiated. All I can say is I have done more than a handful. I mean, I've done more than, gosh,
Okay.
because in my previous role at Abbott Diagnostics, their
Hmm.
portfolio is really large. We have about
Okay.
280 assays that we've
Okay.
launched on the new platform. I cannot take credit for it. I've
Okay.
worked on it, but
Okay.
you know what I mean. It's like I've done my role on all launches while I've been in that particular position.
Right. Okay. So we can word it out like that, like say something along the lines of helped launch this many products, or
Right.
like
So,
supported.
so
Yeah.
supported the launch of multiple drugs, device.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about the combination product. Yes, even from a combination product. So I've done individual standalone devices. I was there for first to market PMA submission of Acculink Acunat. Um, I have worked on two versions of Xion Stent when I was in the cardiovascular business. Then I
Okay.
moved to ADD. ADD was at that time, we
Mhm.
probably launched just India, maybe 7 or 8 different assays.
Okay.
Then I went to EPD in Switzerland. There, no, hold on. There too, I was involved with um, their new launches, mean just different strengths, different presentations. I've worked on
Mhm.
those.
Okay.
Then I came back at V. I did the big GnRH antagonist.
Mhm.
Pharma, you don't. Oh, but actually, Duodopa launched while I was there. So Duodopa US launch happened and Australia launch happened. Then
Okay.
I came here and we did the CE launch, CE submission and approval. So yeah, I
Right.
mean, I don't have a count for you. Sorry.
Okay. Would it be accurate if I say supported the launch of 100 plus, like
No, 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 no,
competition
no,
products,
no,
something
no,
like that? No? Okay.
no, 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 no. That's exaggerating. So I would
Okay.
say multiple.
Okay. Right. Understood.
I strongly recommend you look at a medical director's CV
Okay.
to see. I have
Right.
not seen any CVs that talk about specific products. I would not want to do something that's just not right, you know.
Okay. Um.
And
Let's
I don't
see.
know what I have never included that, so I don't know what is the right thing to do.
Okay. um what about okay, over here in your resume you have mentioned that you supported internal and external customers with the evaluation of issues and adverse events related to the safety and efficacy of products, right? Is there a particularly like challenging adverse event that you helped like resolve, and like how should I put it, that you helped mitigate and resolve regarding safety and product safety and efficacy?
I do not want to talk about it. Yes, there have been significant safety issues.
Okay. All right.
So the example I talked about with, oh gosh, so we had a very early in development product that was causing cataracts in mice within a week,
Okay.
and
Mhm.
deciding or getting the stakeholders to give up that project. It was for
Mhm.
Alzheimer's, but I do not want to talk about it.
Okay. All right.
So people who are working on these programs don't want to let it go. So they kept arguing, saying it's a species dependent behavior, implying that it won't happen in human beings.
Okay. Right.
We had already started the studies in human beings,
Oh,
and so these are tough discussions. I would not want these included anywhere.
all right. I understand. Um, let's see. Is there anything that you've done to fast track like the submission and approval of your devices?
Yes, negotiated with FDA on a smaller but more robust data set.
Okay. And anything else?
That's something, yeah, I've done
Okay.
successfully.
Okay.
Oh, gone to FDA to talk about creative ways of risk mitigation, like we discussed earlier, and
Okay.
they bought into it.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, those are
Um,
those. If it's a benign, neutral discussion, I can put that in and then talk to it. When I talk during an interview, I'll tell them what it was.
uh, all right, I understand. Um, okay. Is there, how should I put it, anything that you've done to facilitate like the analysis and interpretation of like large data sets following like after like clinical trials, the analysis and interpretation of data sets? Is there anything that you've done to facilitate that for your team? Like, have you initiated the development of any like tools or systems for that?
For what? For to do
For
what?
like
I'm sorry.
for the interpretation and analysis of like data sets. So after clinical trials are done. So have you done anything to facilitate like that?
I mean, we review the data, but
Okay.
data is data. We've presented. I mean, we work with our stats team to make the data give the message, but nothing. I mean, it's a collaborative effort, basically.
Okay. All right. What have you like in this current role, sorry, in the role that you're talking about at AbbVie, like what have you done to like improve your team's expertise, build your team's expertise and keep them motivated? The
Uh,
same.
what have I done? I mean, I stay on top of what the requirements are, but I'm also in very close contact with FDA, and
Okay.
FDA sends me things to review, and I engage my team in those discussions. I guide my team. I'm open-minded about any innovative ways they want to do things. So
All right. Okay. uh it's also said that you trained like physicians for like medical safety evaluation and clinical development. So
yes,
like when products are released, these devices are handled by like patients, these are handled by like physicians. So have you done anything to like improve like how should I put it, like improve the way that they understand how the device is supposed to be used, like improve the training of them on the device?
yeah. Remember we talked about that one device, vessel closure device, where they were mixing up the steps. We
Oh, okay,
conducted
okay,
human factor studies, trainings, and then we made a design change to the instrument to make it easy for them.
okay,
Similarly, we implemented a talking pen. Again,
okay,
don't mention this,